All right, motherfuckers, this is Master Marks, and I'm coming back with another motherfucking goddamn live video. In today's video, it's simply titled, Thank You, Brock Lesnar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brock. Thank you. Thank you for saving Monday Night Raw. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about how we want to thank Brock Lesnar and appreciate Brock Lesnar for going to Monday Night Raw and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion on Monday Night Raw. But before we get into it, leave a like, share, comment, subscribe at the beginning of this video. So before you even watch the full fucking video, make sure y'all do all that shit. And I'm going to remind y'all again at the end of the video. And also, don't forget to light up a fatty of that AEW packy. We smoking them big AEW packs over here. I'm going to take a drink before we get started. Give me one moment. Monday Night Raw finally has a big money champion now. Of course, everybody's seen day one. And they seen what happened. Of course, we know the tribal chief found out that he had COVID-19. He can't wrestle at fucking day one. Instead of Brock Lesnar getting a new opponent, he gets added into the fatal four-way for the World Heavyweight Championship with Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, fat ass 316. I just ate your hamburger. Who else is in the match? And Bobby Lashley, and of course, the big idiot, or Big E, the goofball. So from that, of course, Brock Lesnar, we're just going to skip through all of the filler. We're going to skip through all of the filler of that fucking video or of that fucking event. Brock Lesnar is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And he's a babyface at that. And we all know, Brock Lesnar is one of the greatest wrestlers that's ever been in the wrestling business. Best athlete, one of the best wrestlers. Not the greatest talker, but he can still talk, and he has charisma, and he looks like a big money bad ass. Brock Lesnar looks more tough than any person in fucking AEW. There is not one person in AEW who could ever compare to Brock Lesnar. You could stack all of AEW's roster on top of each other, like they did on the Little Rascals when they was trying to go into the bank and shit. You could stack all of these motherfuckers on top of each other, and they still would not be better than Brock Lesnar. Because he's big money Brock. He has big money matches. He's always been big money, even since the beginning of his career. I believe he started in 2002 on SmackDown or something like that, around that time, if my memory hasn't failed me today. But at the end of the day, y'all got to understand, man, Brock Lesnar is the top dog next to Roman Reigns. And in some ways, Roman Reigns is the tribal chief. Don't get me wrong. He is a top dog. But Brock Lesnar will always be above Roman Reigns because Brock Lesnar got more time in the game. He's been through more like eras in wrestling than Roman Reigns has. You know, Brock Lesnar comes from, you know, fucking ruthless aggression era. You know, being the next big thing, being a young fucking champion, being a fucking beast. Brock Lesnar has had a lot of classic matches. Roman has as well, but Roman just still isn't Brock's, you know, like on Brock's level fully. He's still the tribal chief. And we do still praise the tribal chief over here and smoke the AEWPACK while praising the tribal chief. Yes, the fuck we do. But, you know, Brock is big fucking money. Because Brock Lesnar is a person where you put him in any wrestling company. You can even put him in UFC, and it's money. Win, lose, or draw, it's money. There's not a lot of wrestlers that was successful in college wrestling, high school wrestling, UFC, and wrestling, you know, like sports entertainment. There aren't a lot of people who were successful in all of those things. Brock Lesnar was. Brock was and he is successful in all of those things. So that's why we here at Masked Up Marks today on 1/3 of 2022, because you know we going hard all motherfucking 2022, like we motherfucking said, and smoking AEW pack every motherfucking day. That's why today we want to say thank you, Brock Lesnar, because you finally relieved Monday Night Raw from a jobber champion. At this point, send Big E to AEW, because there's no difference between a wrestler like Big E and Brian Powerhouse Hobbs. Those are the same two fucking characters. Goofballs. Should be badasses. Big E could be a badass if he would have more of a serious character and wasn't so like has this like preacher sound to his voice. But they're not going to do that. They'd rather him throw pancakes and twerk and do the splits and do all this goofball ass shit. So a lot of people, of course, you know, are mad that Big E is no longer the champion. To be honest with you, it was not Big E's time to be the champion, because Big E's character is still missing something that will make it convincing for him to be a top guy. He needs to be a heel. Big E isn't going to work out as a babyface because he's not interesting enough to work out as a babyface. In some cases, you have to put a guy in a situation where they're a heel first for a portion of their career, and then when it's finally time to turn him, people probably then got to the point where they so used to seeing him and now they like him. They like that he's such a badass, so they'll cheer for him as a babyface. But I get the storyline. Of course, Big E worked to get the championship. Brock came on the show. He beat him for the championship. That is the end of Big E's reign. But now Monday Night Raw has an actual attraction on the show. If you think about it, back when Bobby Lashley was a champion, Monday Night Raw had an attraction on the show. That's why people watched Monday Night Raw. SmackDown has an attraction on the show, even though he has COVID right now. It's the Tribal Chief motherfucking Roman Reigns. So now that Big E, you know, when Big E started having the championship, it wasn't really an attraction because Big E is not there yet in his career. He's just not there yet. He's not there yet. And it's no offense to Big E, because I know he's a goofball and he might be a good dude. Big E is probably a nice person, but his character is goofy as fuck and nobody is ever going to take him fucking serious. So maybe that's something Vince needs to think about. Vince needs to maybe work on him being a heel or making the New Day heels or doing something. Just do something. Excuse me, y'all. Do something that'll make his character be better. But as of right now, we're done talking about Big E. Because now, the motherfucking Beast Incarnate, the motherfucking top tier, the motherfucking goddamn big money Brock, big peso Brock, big bank Brock is the champion now. And any person who hates the fact that Brock Lesnar is the champion only likes fucking jobbers. Any person who doesn't want Brock Lesnar to be a champion or complains about Brock being a champion likes jobbers. They like jobbers. They like jobber wrestlers. Or they're AEW fans, which people who watch AEW like jobbers. Basically the same thing. Y'all get where I'm going here. People who hate on Brock Lesnar simply are pencil neck geeks. Or don't smoke AEWPACK, or are too scared to smoke AEWPACK because their chest gonna hurt. But what we want to tell you, what Masked Up Marks want to tell you is Brock Lesnar should be the champion because he's a star attraction. It's almost WrestleMania season. You need somebody who is worth something to watch to be the champion. You can't just have Joe Schmo or fucking Ricochet with his bald motherfucking head as the champion. Because Ricochet don't put asses in seats. Brock Lesnar puts asses in seats. Which leads us to the next portion of beef with Brock Lesnar. Because now we have Brock Lesnar on Raw, Bobby Lashley on Raw. So now you have an opportunity where there's Big Money Brock versus Big Money Bobby Lashley. And I told you motherfuckers last year, at a point in time when we first start putting out videos, I told you motherfuckers last year that that was a big money match. You can't have a big money match with Big E. It's just not going to happen. It isn't going to work. Big E is not a big money champion yet. He's still at a young part. He's still at a beginning part of his career where he went through the whole tag team phase and now he needs a character development. But we're, like I said, we're done talking about Big E. Brock Lesnar is the world fucking heavyweight champion. And all I want to say is thank you, Brock. Thank you for finally putting some respect on the title. Because when you look at Brock Lesnar, you see a champion. If you walked up to Brock Lesnar, you could feel that he was the champion. You walk up to Big E, you wouldn't think he wrestled for the company. You think he's like the caterer or the guy who throw out peanuts in the crowd. Hey, you need a beer? $5, come on. Cash your card. That's what you would think Big E is. Because Big E is just, he not there. But Brock is there. And Brock has proven in this business, in every business, UFC, NCAA, WWE, he's proven that he is big money. He's a big money attraction. And now he's a babyface. So you can't get no better than that. And I know, like I said before, a lot of you people are going to be sad and depressed and mad and say, oh, well, Vince McMahon needs to die. Wrestling is fucking terrible. That's not why wrestling is terrible, bruh. Wrestling is terrible because there's a company owned by Tony Khan who is a motherfucker who couldn't book a match if his life depended on it, which I tell y'all all the time. That is the reason why wrestling fucking sucks. It isn't because people like Brock Lesnar. If anything, Brock Lesnar makes wrestling better. Like people bitch and moan about the championship getting defended. I mean, most of the time, the championship gets defended against jobbers. What you want, Brock Lesnar to be on the show every motherfucking day and defend the title against Ricochet? Or fight Humberto Carrillo, whatever the fuck his name is? Just jobbers. Jobbers. So people who complain about Brock Lesnar not defending the title previously every fucking night or every pay-per-view, who he gonna fight? Who is he gonna fight? Shorty G? Chad Gable? Whatever the fuck his name is? Now, this also puts something in play. Now, y'all know I don't like playing that whole Booker thing and doing all that Booker shit because I think that shit's goofy as fuck. And all of you YouTubers who try to press on fans of what you think should be booked and how you think shit should be booked are goofy as fuck. Just to let y'all know. And I don't give a fuck if you don't like the statement or not. Leave it in the comment section how you feel. I'll still not give a fuck, and I'm going to say my opinion at the end of the day. Fuck you. So back to what I was motherfucking saying, like, damn, I didn't motherfucking remember what the fuck I was saying. Anyways, listen, we just going to talk about this some other time. At the end of the day, man, like, Brock Lesnar should be the champion. And I just got my thought back, so now we back in this bitch. What I was saying before my mind completely slipped. I don't know where the fuck I went. I was thinking about you idiots who always talk shit on YouTube. You motherfucking cocksucking bastards. But back to what I was saying. Now, Brock could beat Bobby. They also have Brock's homeboy, Gable Stevenson. In the background, he just got drafted to Raw. That can start up something, give him some shine. Maybe Brock will train him. We never know what's going to happen with that. There's so many things that can happen in wrestling right now. But there are a lot less things that can happen in wrestling if you have people like Big E as the champion. And of course, I mean, you still can beat any rival TV wrestling show with Big E as the champion. Because, I mean, Tony Khan, he has motherfuckers that look like Gary Coleman as the champion. And they don't even look like Gary Coleman. They just look like Hornswoggle or some shit like that. He had motherfuckers who look like they work at Arby's be they champion. So, I mean, you can say what you want. But Big E is the champion. And 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 you really don't have to do too much. But now that's like putting a knife to the throat when you put Brock Lesnar as the champion, because that's your big money star. That's the person you pay how many ever million you pay him, 8, 9 figures to be on the show. That's your big money. That's your big money star. That is your big money star. So now, when we really look at things, Brock Lesnar is the champion. You got Royal Rumble coming up. You got Bobby Lashley possibly facing him. You have a bunch of people that can face Brock Lesnar right now. And you know Brock, he don't care. He want to get the job done. He want to win the championship. He'll be around for a little bit, get his check, and he take his motherfucking ass home. Like, now that WWE got Brock as the champion and Roman Reigns as the champion, there is nothing AEW could ever do to fucking beat them, because those are two bigger stars than they've ever had in their whole entire fucking roster. Because Chris Jericho's past his time. Cody Rhodes is a blonde bitch. Brandy Rhodes is a black bitch, from what she told us. Everybody else is fucking jobbers. And I mean, Dean Ambrose, he too busy drinking Hennessy and smoking Marlboro, so he's in fucking rehab. He might be out of rehab now, but he was too busy fucking drinking 1800 and smoking Newport shorts and shit, so he's not doing shit right now. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Dean Moxley went back to WWE, because they did pay for his rehab. We never know. Of course, Tony Khan, because he signs everybody. Tony Khan might suck his cock and do whatever the fuck he has to do to keep him on the roster. But, you know, when you look at it and you got Brock Lesnar as the champion of Raw, Roman Reigns as the champion of SmackDown, then you get motherfucking Braun Breaker as the champion of NXT, what the fuck can AEW do? What the fuck can they do? Like I said, they're going to have to stack wrestlers on top of their shoulders like they did in the Little Rascals and put a beard on a motherfucker to even have somebody look intimidating to go against Brock Lesnar. Because they have not one wrestler on their roster that is intimidating, or that looks like an actual star, or that looks like an actual badass. Like, they got Brian Cage on it. They got Brian Cage, Christian Cage, fucking brother, cousin, and whatever, kissing cousin on the fucking roster, and he looks like a jobber. That dude is tons of muscle, tons of badassness, and he looks like a jobber. Because he is a jobber. A big jobber, a muscle jobber. So at the end of the day, I know my AEWPACK smokers say this, and I know that everybody that I fuck with that's in this community will say this. Thank you, Brock Lesnar. Thank you for being the champion. Thank you for going to Raw. And thank you for smoking that AEW pack as well. That CMPUNK pack, Tony Khan pack. Because that's what it's really about. Vince make a person like Brock Lesnar a champion because he knows it's going to bring in money. And he knows it's going to bring in revenue. And he knows that Brock is a word that I want y'all to remember in y'all heads, because these videos correlate with each other. It's a word that I want y'all to remember in y'all head. Brock Lesnar is an asset to the company. Something that Tony Khan has never seen, heard, or smelt before, because he has 0 assets in his company. 0. And he had a chance to sign Brock, and he didn't sign him. He signed Malachi Black and Andrade and FTR and Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, and they have done absolutely fucking nothing for their ratings. They have done absolutely fucking nothing for the revenue. They don't have assets. And I told you when Tony Khan lost his fucking mind 2.0 that Tony Khan don't want no assets. He just want he just want to play house. It's like a Christmas toy. It's like when a kid get new toys, and I said this before in the video, it's like when a kid get new toys for Christmas, wrestling toys, and he just want to put them all together and have them all wrestle each other. That's how Tony Khan is. He's not an actual professional or a booker, because if he was, Brock Lesnar was a free agent. He could have signed Brock Lesnar and had, and I'm going to say it again, an asset in the company. Now he has nothing. He just has a bunch of people that's fucking ass in the company. Matter of fact, he got Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass, in the company. Billy Gunn's son, Mr. Ass Jr. in the company. They got t-shirts to talk about being ass boys or some shit like that. But they don't have one asset in the company. Just a bunch of people that's ass. That's trash. Bunch of jobbers. And you know who's not a jobber? Brock Lesnar. You know who's a star? Brock Lesnar. And you know who's the world heavyweight champion of Raw right now? Brock motherfucking Big Money Lesnar. And I'm happy about it. I'm glad. I'm glad somebody like Brock Lesnar is finally the champion, because that's somebody that's actually worth something in that fucking company. Now, I actually might start watching Raw. I probably won't, but I'll think about it. I'll think about it. So at the end of the day, we want to thank Brock Lesnar, and I'm glad he's the champion, and I'm glad everybody continue to fucking smoke that AEW pack. Make sure y'all leave the AEW pack comments in the comment section. Leave a like, share, subscribe. Like I told y'all at the beginning of the video, I was almost getting tongue-tied right there and almost fucked up my shit, but oh well, fuck it. Also, make sure y'all motherfucking pimp slap that motherfucking share button. Pimp slap that motherfucking notification bell, so every time we drop a motherfucking video, you can know when we about to drop. This has been Masked Up Marks. Thank you, Brock Lesnar. Smoke your AEW pack. I'm out this bitch.